Hi guys, it's Sarah from Sarah's Tarot, showing my face for the first time on YouTube and possibly Instagram. I have not checked and I don't remember. Today I thought I would hop on and do the Tarot Tube introduction or reintroduction. I actually haven't done an introduction, so this will be the first one for me. Because it seems like a really fun tag and I just thought I should introduce myself. So as you can see, I am sitting on the floor with all of my decks. These, I'll get into it in a little bit as per the tag, but these are my oracle decks. These are tarot decks. There are guidebooks behind me, and then over there are more tarot decks. So I'm gonna start with the basics, just like in, I think it's Sarah from Coyote Tarot. We love a good Sarah. I mean, what can I say? We are gonna start with the basics, so let's get into it. The first question is, where are you from? And the answer to that is, I am born and raised in New York, but right now I am in Maryland / Delaware area. Long story short, I went to college in Delaware, my boyfriend lives in Maryland, and my parents are selling our house in New York, so now I live in Maryland. Yeah. How did you come up with your tarot tube or your YouTube name? Well guys, if you couldn't tell, I'm Sarah. It's kind of self-explanatory. How long have you been reading tarot? I have been reading tarot since I was 17, so that was 2020 during the pandemic. Sorry, my dog is in here and she's just wandering around. Talia, come here. Come here, baby. No, she doesn't want to be on camera. Sorry, she's so funny. I've been reading tarot since 2020 during the pandemic, like a lot of people, during my junior year of high school. How did I get into it? I was bored. I was so bored during school. I did all my assignments early. I understood everything. I was doing super well academically. I just couldn't stand not having anything to do. So I started doing my own research projects on non-traditional religions. So I started with, I know Satanism was one of them. I started with Wicca and a few others, paganism, etc., etc. And that led me to create a PowerPoint on divinatory practices. And then that led me to create my first rune set. And then I bought my first tarot deck on like April 17th. And it was, oh, it's up there. It's in a bag. It was down here, but I put all my decks, or some of my decks, in bags. And the last question for the basics is, do I read for others? Right now, I don't, because I had an instance where someone took advantage of my, I'm gonna say reading ability and psychic ability or intuitive ability, and was asking a whole bunch of questions repeatedly, not respecting me or my time or my decks, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this. So right now I'm not reading for others, unless it's my sister, because she's crazy and she needs it. Okay, moving on to the second category, which is decks. Decks. My beautiful decks. Do you use Oracle with tarot? I do. I should have brought my box over here, but I do either tarot and Oracle, or just tarot. I don't usually just pull an Oracle card unless I'm doing some kind of journaling, like I did with the Reclaim Oracle a few days ago. Weird fact, when I'm pulling tarot and Oracle cards, I always have to do Oracle first. I don't know if other people do that. It's just a little fun fact for me, or a little weird fact. How many decks do I have? In my notes, I literally wrote and because someone may be able to hear me. Hold on. Talia, look up. Oh, hi. Hi. Okay, sorry. Doggy love. Because someone may be able to hear me, I will say my lucky number is 3. My collection consists of 3 threes, more or less. And that's where we'll leave it. Where do you store your decks? Okay, so, oh, hi. Yeah, now are you on camera? So, there are 2 tree bookshelves over here, and then I have this one bookshelf of tarot, and then another tree bookshelf of tarot, and then another bookshelf of tarot. So, it's all against the wall on tree bookshelves, which I actually find really nice and aesthetic, and I like the pink one. Oh, and I have my Llewellyn Tarot decks at the end over there because they are in the larger boxes, and I like having so many of them that I can stack them and not have to put them in bags on the shelf. What do you look for in a deck? I have started looking for decks that have deeper connections than just the keyword that I associate with the card. So, like, if I'm trying to think of a card where I have a good keyword. Like the Page of Wands. Oh my god, why did I pick a court card? Anyway, the Page of Wands being about like curiosity and exploration, those are the keywords that I associate with it. I need something that like shows that and more, if that makes sense. So that's where I've started going. She's in the way of the computer, I can't see the question. I also look for a lot of color and imagery. I'm really into collage decks and like bright, funky decks right now. Oh, hi Talia. And I love rose petal finish. That is what I am also looking for, which I feel like isn't a very common thing, but I love it. I love the feel of it. How would you describe your deck collection? As everyone is saying, I would describe it as eclectic, but I would also start to describe it, I took notes, starting to become more RWS inspired and not RWS clones like, which I think is really cool. Like I said, it goes back to the idea of being able to associate more with the card than just the keyword that I put with it. Starting to want more Marseille decks. I think I only have my Squid Cake Marseille is on my desk over there, and I have some Pip decks that I have to go back and see if they're actually Marseille. But I have been looking for, which one is it? The Tarot de Marseille, the Sirène, the Petite Sirène one. I want that deck so bad. And I've been looking for it. And I was supposed to buy it from someone, and they said that it was available. And then someone else lived further away, and they would have gotten more money for shipping, so they sold it to that person instead. Which is ridiculous, but I don't want a deck with that energy, so that's okay. Starting to be more customized to what I want and not just every deck that I see, which I feel like is a common theme a lot of being like, of having FOMO. I've definitely had the FOMO, the deck FOMO. And sorry, she's just sitting right on top of me. I've definitely had deck FOMO, and I've started to realize that like even if I want the deck, if it's not going to do anything for me and it costs $80, like maybe wait and see if it calls to you in a little bit, which I feel like has been very helpful. Do you have a go-to tarot deck and oracle deck? Guys, surprise, surprise. She's too far away for me to reach, but my go-to tarot deck is the Shadowscapes Tarot. And sometimes I wrote this in my notes, sometimes she's fickle and says, no, don't pick me up. And that's usually when they don't shuffle right? Like you can sense it. And my go-to oracle, I can not grab, she's too far away also, is the Swatches of Chakra by Crystal Banner, I'm pretty sure, because I do a lot of chakra work, and having different categories per chakra is a good way to touch up on different aspects. So I usually go to that deck. And then the last question of decks is, do I rehome decks, and what determines if they leave my collection? No. If you're here to stay. There was one instance, I had a Kickstarter that I backed that I had a problem with, and I was going through really bad depression, so like everything was exacerbated. So I don't regret doing this, but basically I ordered 5 decks and only 2 of them came because the packaging opened during shipping, and because it was in an envelope. It wasn't in a box. It was in an envelope. It was 5 decks. Put them in a box. But either way, I sent them to someone with a trade that I did, and that's the only time that decks have left my collection. So moving on to my practice, what does your tarot practice look like? So daily, location, tools, when do you turn to the cards for answers? So right off the bat, I have my morning tarot and oracle pull, which I do based on the zodiac season. So right now for Taurus season, I'm doing the Alpaca Tarot and the Prairie Majesty Oracle. And those actually work really well together. I love them. And then usually I do 1 or 2 other readings during the day. Usually I turn to the cards when I need to reflect and when I need to like really think about how I'm feeling. I like to be very introspective, so I like to know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling and then be able to move on from there. My practice also consists of when I go to school, I take at least 1 deck with me. I don't touch it, it just sits in my backpack. And it's just absorbing all the energy. And then I usually do some kind of journaling or crafty tarot inspired project in the evening. I have a whole bunch of journals that I may do a walkthrough of soon. But I have a whole host of journals. I've started making little junk journals. I just like to be crafty. I like stickers. And what does a typical reading look like with or for you? Usually, I sit, I pull cards, I reflect, I take a picture, and I move on. I don't really spend a lot of time tarot journaling, which I do want to start doing. And I don't have like a whole big setup. I've even stopped spreading the cards out. I just use jumpers and hold the deck and pick cards, but I think I'm gonna go back to spreading them out because I like seeing the energy and being able to visualize it and not just feel it. And then the last section is the YouTube and TarotTube section, which starts with what kind of content is your favorite to post and watch. And I like to post tags, as you can tell, and I like to watch tags and collection videos. Those are my favorite. I want to see everybody's collections and journal collections. I want to start seeing more of those. So it's your warning, guys. Oh, Talia. She bumped the camera. You're okay. We're almost done. How did I get into creating a TarotTube channel? Oh God. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Okay. There we go. Come here, you. Come here, you. Come here. Okay. How did I get into creating a TarotTube channel? Is I wanted a video record of all of my decks, but the problem is that I keep adding decks and not making videos of my collection. So I'm very behind, but that's okay. Yeah, I keep adding more before I can record more videos. But hopefully over the summer, I'll have more time. And then, knowing what I know about YouTube and TarotTube, is there anything I would do differently? Not really. I'm still a baby channel. I've only posted like 5 videos, I think. And most of them were tags. I may take down the other collection videos and restart them. Or go through, and I have a different setup now, so I'll have to figure it out. But the only thing I would do different is if it didn't mean having to repurchase all of my decks, because I enjoy the connections that I have with all my decks right now, I would restart my collection and cull it down to only the decks that I really think I need. But nah, you're here to stay. If I like you and you're here to stay. So that is the end of my introduction. Thank you for humoring me with my dog attacking me and the camera. And I will see you guys soon.